Happy anniversary to me. It's day 7. I sound like one of those psycho stalker girlfriends. Happy 1 week anniversary, honey. But yeah, it's been a hell of a week, so hell yeah, I'm celebrating. 1 week ago, right now, I was being wheeled away to the waiting area before they take you into surgery. So I don't know about anybody else, but so I got to the hospital at 7. At 10, they strip you down top to bottom. You're wearing nothing but 2 gowns, one front waist, one back waist, and little paper slippers. And then you go back to the waiting room. No undies, no nothing. And then at 11:20, they came and got me, and they wheeled me upstairs, and then they had us all lined up in a room, all of us waiting for surgery. It was just stretcher after stretcher after stretcher. It reminded me of those, those rolling bookcases that doctors' offices have, and they crank it and they move it over so that they can get in there and grab a file. Well, that's what they would do every time they needed to be beside one of us. They would just shove us all over, about a foot. So yeah, it was interesting. And then into the operating room. So a week ago, life changed. Feeling a little exhausted today. Today's, I have less pep. I have less get up and go. I got up and go, got up and went. I guess it makes sense, so few calories. I've probably eaten less calories in the last 7 days than I would have in, a normal 2 days maybe. I don't know, because 3 of those 7 days I had 0 calories in them. So yeah, less than 2 days worth of calories in the last 7. So I guess it makes sense. I guess I'm allowed to be tired. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to take it one day at a time. I also made myself some cream of wheat for breakfast and ate 1 spoon and full, done. No more going in. It's just, yeah. Nothing is appealing to me this morning, but my stomach already feels full. So when you feel it, you stop. And that's what I'm doing. Again, listening to my body. So I figure I'm doing what I need to do. I won't get to have the pretty numbers and be as on track as I've been the last couple of days. But if it was all supposed to be super easy and done, I'd be back at work. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot since last night. One of the things that's come up in our group, and for those of you that aren't part of our group, I'm part of an online support group of local people who've all gone through this type of thing, either gastric sleeve or gastric bypass or dual adrenal switch or all those things. And it's awesome because we're all local, we're all near each other. A lot of us have the same doctors, the same hospitals, the same meetings. I'm super blessed to have found a group where the majority speak English. I speak French, no problem, but when it comes to my health and daily life and when I'm tired or cranky or stressed or any of those things, I prefer it being my first language, which is English. So super blessed to have this group of people. And all in all, I've gotten so much out of being in this group, I can't even imagine. So I was reading last night, and there was a post that asked, did you cheat on your pre-op liquid diet? And it's amazing. I felt there was a certain amount of judgment happening. Like if you did cheat on your pre-op liquid diet, somebody was told that, absolutely, that means you're not ready for the surgery or you're not taking this seriously and then some people were a little more about it. So I thought I'd share my views and my history of what happened with me. I ended up with a 4-week liquid diet. So before I continue, these views expressed by this person reflect only the views expressed by this person. They are not endorsed by anyone. No medical physician, no nurse, no anyone. Nobody's underwriting this. This is 100% Avia. There's nothing else. This is just my views and my reflections and my experience. And I thought I'd share. So I had the 4-week liquid diet because my body mass index was over 50. Is still over 50, but was over 50 for the surgical purposes. And it was rough, gotta say. And my resolve is very strong. I've been on the waiting list for this surgery for 4.5 years. It took over 2 years just to get in and see the doctor. And then it took 2.5. It was 2 years in September, so I don't feel like counting from there. So yeah, 2.5 years to actually get the surgery. There were certain complications because of my thyroid cancer and would I absorb my meds but anyway, so I waited a long time for this, and like I've mentioned in previous videos, I've been fighting really hard for the last decade. I'm turning 50 in 2 months, so if you want to know why I keep talking last decade, that 40th birthday drove it home, and I decided it was going to be healthy. So I've been working really hard to be healthy, and I've worked really long to get to where I am now and wanting this surgery, so I have very strong resolve. But yeah, during my 4-week diet, I cheated. It happened twice. So the first time I cheated, it was about 15 days into the 28 days. And I was serving my kids their supper. And I ate one of their nuggets, one of their chicken nuggets that had just come out of the oven. And I logged it. I made sure it was logged on I've been logging on my Baritastic app every single drop or morsel of food that goes into my mouth since the day I started the liquid diet, so that I have an accurate, complete view of every calorie, every tidbit that's been going in me. So I logged it, and then I thought about it. I wasn't happy with myself that I had cheated. I didn't beat myself up like crazy, but then I thought about it. I just thought about, why had I cheated? And, well, I basically cheated because I missed food. I missed protein, because you are allowed to chew. I was allowed to chew on vegetables during the liquid diet. But veggies are veggies. At no point in those 4 weeks did I ever get that satisfied feeling. And I missed protein, so I ate a nugget. And then I thought about it, and I came to the conclusion that, 1, I was going to cut myself some slack, and 2, I was going to tell the doctor about it, of course. But the perspective, the thought process it allowed me to have, it didn't have me question my resolve. I was right back into it, shakes, absolutely, totally vigilant. And the thought process that chicken nugget brought me, especially that I hadn't had real food in 15 days, as I ate it, I thought, what a shitty return on investment this little clump of calories is. There's not enough flavor. There's not enough nutritional value. As it stands, while the numbers are not horrible on a chicken nugget, I would have thought they would have been worse, but they're not horrible. It was a home-baked one, but still. But I didn't like the return on investment. I thought, down the road, when I'm eating smaller portions and the size of a chicken nugget is now a huge part of my meal, I'm going to want real food. I'm going to want good quality food, and I'm going to make sure that my return on investment for every bite that goes into my body is high. It's going to have the high protein. It's going to have the high nutritional value. I like the trick that someone gave me. I don't know who. If you multiply times 10 the protein, that's around the calories you'd want it to have. And that's a sweet spot. So let's say the thing you're about to put in your mouth has 8 grams of protein. Well, it should be circling around 80 calories. So if it's, 80, 90 calories, sweet spot, it's a great thing, if it's a snack or whatever. I'm just talking nutrition labels. But if you look at some things, like some so-called protein snacks where, there's 3 grams of protein and 230 calories, not so much. So that's the yardstick by which I judge the quality and the return on investment of the food I'm going to put in my body. So that's what allowed me to come to that reflection, that chicken nugget. And then, about 10 days later, the most horrible thing happened. 25 days in, 22, 25, something like that. I'm 3.5 weeks into my 4-week liquid diet. I'm days, I'm sniffing distance away from my surgery. And for the first time in my life, I got up in the middle of the night, half asleep, feeling starved, not even totally consciously aware of what I was doing. I'm not making excuses. I'll explain my consciousness level in a minute. Not totally aware, I got up in the middle of the night. I was feeling awful. I was starving. I was hungry. I was kind of half asleep. I walked into the kitchen without even putting on my glasses. I opened the fridge door and I grabbed a piece of lasagna. Not a super tiny piece, but not a huge piece. I grabbed a piece of lasagna and I ate it cold. I've never done that. I don't get up in the middle of the night to eat things. I certainly don't eat them while I'm half asleep standing in the door of the fridge. Now, the first part of what happened was, wow, did I get sick. My whole body just absolutely lost it. Oh, hang on. Shot alarm. Sorry about that. I have to take my shot. My whole body just rejected. It felt like every abdominal muscle I've got in my body went, in, no, out. Every inch of that piece of lasagna, which I barely remember even ingesting, I was that, dialed in, came out. And as I'm sitting there recovering, I start thinking, one, oh my God, what did I just do? Half asleep, middle of the night. I could have completely blown my chances at the surgery. If that had stayed down, can you imagine the fat content in lasagna? That could have totally blown my surgery. And even then, even if the doctor said, okay, we'll go, he could have opened me up, saw my liver wasn't small enough, and then decided to cancel the surgery. So I could have gone through the 4-week liquid diet for nothing. I could have ruined everything. So that was my first realization for myself. And wow, was it mind-blowing. But unluckily, body rejected it and it came back up. More importantly, what it got me to thinking about was mindless eating. And not so much in that instance, because like I said, I'm not a middle of the night, half asleep, eat out of the fridge person. And believe me, that never happened again and won't. Wow, again, sick. The only time I've ever thrown up that badly was with food poisoning. So I guess my stomach had shrunk and life was not happy. It wasn't having any of it. The mindless eating that we do in our regular lives. Think about, when you go to the movies and you eat popcorn. I don't know about you, but the only time I become aware of the popcorn is if my fingers would touch the greasy bottom where the unpopped kernels are, and then suddenly I'd be aware that I'd finished my popcorn. Now, again, working over the years to not overindulge my indulgences, I'd get a small popcorn, but still, I was not aware that I ate the whole popcorn. Or snacking in front of the TV, or something that actually might sneak up on people and they don't realize it, eating while you work. I can't tell you either how many lunches I've skipped altogether or just inhaled. Like I picture a dog eating, you know how they go gulp, gulp, swallow? I'm sure I've done that with countless sandwiches in my life as I ate while I worked because I didn't give myself the chance to take a break. So that's mindless eating. So that's what this whole middle of the night lasagna want to die praying to the porcelain gods thing gave me, was being mindful when I eat. Every single bite, paying attention. I don't eat in front of the TV, and if I do, I look down at my spoon. Most things are still in a spoon. I look down at my spoon, or, I pay attention. I pay attention to what it tastes like in my mouth. And I'm sure I would have come to this realization anyway. Don't by any stretch of the imagination anyone take this as a suggestion to cheat. Do not. It's awful. I felt horrible and I could have blown everything. But at no point did I question my resolve or my readiness for this surgery, for this life change, because I had already been working on this life change for so long. Working on eating healthy and all of those things for so long. So I didn't question that. But I did appreciate the reflection it brought me. It was good to think about it. It was good to think about all those moments that we eat without realizing we're eating. And I'm sure we've all done it. I know I have. I'll only speak for me. I've done it. Like I said, popcorn theater, popcorn at the theater, sitting in front of the TV, eating while I work. Those are definitely ones that I'm guilty of. And that's not going to happen again, because that's how you, one, lose track of how much you're eating, and two, you lose focus of what your body's telling you. So How will I know my body's full if I'm too busy focusing on something else? So I learned all of that from my 2 cheats. And I also learned, man, you get sick after 3.5 weeks on the liquid diet and try to throw the lasagna into your gut. Ooh, really not good. And I told people about it. I had a weakness, and I fell, and I got back up. And I told my doctor about it. He said there was no impact. I still lost 30 pounds on my 4-week diet. My liver looked good. So it worked out well for me. So this is, again, by no means an encouragement. Like I said, I personally didn't question my resolve. But what I'm wondering is, what would have happened if I had gone into the group and told everyone what I had done? I don't know. I wonder how I would have felt if a bunch of people who up until then, not a bunch, but yeah, if there were a few comments where I'm seeking support, where I'd be told, you're not ready, you're not taking this seriously, I don't know how that would have felt. It might have been difficult. I'm not sure. I had a moment of weakness, and I think that would have been difficult. And I admit there's fear. When I started thinking about this last night, looking at the post, I remember thinking, should I tell them what I did? Should I tell them what I did? And I realized last night, as I'm going to sleep, and this morning when I got up, I was terribly worried I was going to be judged. What will everyone think of me? Actual fear. I felt actual fear about admitting what I had done during my 4-week post-op diet. Isn't that weird? Isn't that odd to feel that way? I don't know. So today, I girded up my loins and got my courage together and decided to face admit what I had done. I ate a chicken nugget, and it stayed down. It got counted on the calorie counter. And I inhaled a piece of lasagna and then got deathly ill from it. And yes, absolutely, if I could go back in time, I wouldn't have done either of those things. But I still appreciate the thought process and the reflection that it brought to me in that moment. I'm not saying the disadvantages outweigh the advantages, but I don't know. It ended up being a valuable experience for me. And believe me, I really was ready and still am ready. It's, like I said, it's day 7 of the rest of my life. And except for that first day in the hospital when I was really unhappy, I don't regret it. I can see that this is the right thing for me, and it's going to do nothing but get better. So that's day 7. Oh, and later today I get my staples out. I'm terribly excited about that. I'm so looking forward to a shower. You have no idea. So later today I get my staples out. I'll tell you about that tomorrow if there's anything interesting to report. So today I guess it was all about cheating. Have a good day.